Welcome back to It's My Project, and I will cry if I want to. And I've got another project. So, I just got back with this Landa SJ15 automatic parts washer. So I've been looking for a good parts washer for a while. I actually have a commercial dishwasher, a small one that I converted to kind of try and be a parts washer, but I think this will do a lot better. This was one of those marketplace deals where I was on it within 7 minutes of it being posted. He had all kinds of attention, but luckily the guy was a good guy, and he said, you know, I was the first to come after it. He gave me time to come get it, put it on pending, and I was able to get it today. Didn't even really look it over. It's one of those deals, you know, the price was so good, I haven't looked at it at all yet. So here it is. I'm excited to get into it, but for now I'm just gonna get it unloaded. Got the old TCM purple loader fired up, ready to unload it. We're gonna use the forks to get this thing unloaded. And I'm not probably gonna get into it at all today, but hopefully maybe in the next week or so, I'll actually get to look it over and see what it's gonna take to get it running again. I think it's in pretty good condition, all things considered, for how much I paid for it, but we're gonna find out. So it's a couple days later, and I'm getting a chance to finally look over this parts washer a little bit. So far, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. I think it's gonna work out pretty good, but we're gonna have to test everything and see if it actually functions. So for right now, my kind of how I'm planning to attack this is, I wanna get, you know, some of the pieces out. The basket comes out, and there's some pieces down in there like that I think are supposed to kind of catch debris and stuff. I'm gonna get all that out. I'd like to kind of wash it out and clean it out so that, you know, it's a little bit rusty and everything. I don't want a bunch of that debris to come off, you know, when I first start trying to use this and then clog up the whole system, go through the pump or anything. There is a filter here, a strainer of some sort that I want to open up and take a look in there. One little thing I also want to do is there's a drain on the side over here. it's just a big plug, and I'd like to get that set up with a valve of some sort so that, you know, I can drain it slower or part of it or whatever like that, and maybe even hook it up so that I can go ahead and hook a hose to that when I want to drain it, so I can kind of drain it further away from the machine. I'm not sure where this is going to get set up exactly yet or how it's going to get all set up, but I doubt that it's going to be right beside a drain to be able to just open that up and let it all drain out. So this is kind of what I'm talking about why I want to clean it out before I go ahead and try and run it. It's just, you know, a lot of debris, surface rust that flaked off and stuff. That's just going to clog up the system if I run it like this. Got some rust to it. Hopefully, you know, nothing's rusted too bad. I don't think anything's rusted out completely or anything yet. I mean, obviously things can be fixed if they are, but we'll see once we get some of this rust cleaned out of here. Here's the heating elements, it looks like. So kind of like regular hot water heating elements, but a little bit longer than normal, I'd say. Not sure what all this is right here. Something. Maybe a water level switch, like a low water level switch, because I know it has that. As you can see, the sprayer spins nice still. Looks like some kind of a strainer here as well. I don't know if that's where it sucks in the water to the pump or not. Must be where it sucks it in. Yeah. So that must be where it sucks into the pump there, and then it comes out here is my guess, and goes through the strainer after that actually, which I guess kind of makes sense because then it's going straight into the sprayer, which goes into these small nozzles, which I think can clog up pretty easily. That's kind of where you get your pressure for sort of a pressure wash on these, is all these little nozzles. There's a bunch of them all over this arm, and then of course that arm spins around whatever you have in the basket to wash it. I'm gonna get a vacuum, I guess, probably. Well, I might take some of this stuff out by hand first, this rusty junk, then maybe get a vacuum in here and clean this out. Then I'm probably gonna go ahead and get a hose, and I'm gonna take this plug out and just kind of rinse everything out. Quite a bit of junk in there. That'll all come out of there. Okay, we're looking a whole lot better in here already. Next thing is I'm going to pull that drain plug and then try and rinse some of this out a little bit. And then probably try and figure out what size that is so I can get a valve to put into it. Oh yeah. We're gonna try a bigger wrench. Easy peasy with a big wrench. So I realized, which is in my opinion kind of stupid, that drain's not really low enough to drain everything out of the tank. So if I rinse this, I'll get a whole bunch of debris down there that's not really going to flow out of here. I'm not sure why that isn't at the very bottom. I really think I need to clean this up just a little bit more. I mean, I think it's equipped to deal with debris. I mean, that should be part of, obviously, a parts washer like this. There's gonna be dirt and debris that gets in the system, so it should be able to deal with that and not, you know, destroy the pump or anything. But I have my doubts. Ooh, I have my doubts, but for no reason. That don't look quite right. It's a bit bent up. Basically, for this strainer to work, as far as I can tell, you know, it's got to go up in at the top and then it's obviously seat against the bottom of this. With it bent like this, I don't know that it is, so if it's not touching, you know, or where it needs to be on both ends, then stuff will be able to go around it, which would make it kind of useless. So I'm gonna have to look into that a bit. Obviously. It does look like it's gonna go up in there, so even with it bent like that. I think it may be in my best interest to open up this kind of electronics enclosure as well before I hook anything up to power, just to see, you know, you never know, there could be like mouse nests or obviously chewed wires or something that, you know, are going to cause a problem if I hook it up to power. So I am by no means an electrician or anything, but let's see if we can look at some of this and kind of figure out what it does, what it is. Over here you can adjust your temperature, it looks like, for your set point on your water. Here is obviously the heating element. It's nice to see that this basically looks like a regular hot water heater heating element. Obviously it's quite a bit bigger, but we should be able to get those if we need them. We have, what does this say? Yep, level switch. So I'm pretty sure, like I said earlier, I saw these inside coming through the side. These look like they're basically to tell you your water level. So it's like it won't burn out your heating element. It'll shut off before that if your water level gets too low. This looks like maybe some kind of contactor or relay. I'm not sure. This is definitely some kind of transformer, it looks like, up here. It's got some fuses. We've got the back of our timer, it looks like, up here. This is just the back of some switches, and then these are just lights to indicate stuff here. And this is another timer, basically. So this is just like an hour timer for setting your wash cycle. And this here is going to be, if you look at the back, is like a 7-day timer for your heater, so you can set it to run each one of these little sections here, pink looking sections. Here's one, is a day, and then these correspond to like hours within the day. Must be multiple hours per, couple hours per little, each little notch, but you can set those so that different days of the week it will heat the water up. You know, so if you have a shop and you're going to run this all the time, you know, you're only heating the water during the times that you're open, and you're letting it cool down some, you know, overnight or on the weekend. Like this is a Sunday, I think, here. $230 single phase, so that's good. You know, the motor looks like it can actually be run on 230 or 115 depending on how the motor is set up. So that indicates here that we are in fact looking for 230 though, which is what I guessed. So we'll have to wire that up accordingly. Up here you can see, get a light. Up here you can see the bottom of a switch. That switch is for the door close. So that basically, when the door is closed, that little bolt up there pushes down on the top of this switch, and that lets it know the door is closed. And when you open the door, it will automatically shut off the cycle. So if it's running, it doesn't just keep spraying water and spinning. It's like a safety mechanism. These are some kind of terminal block. I don't know if they're like a contactor though too, or if they're just a terminal block. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into those, see what that is. If I have a problem, I guess. If I don't have a problem, I don't care too much. Definitely some kind of terminal block. Trying to see what it says on it. I don't think it's some kind of circuit breaker, because I don't see the like a breaker on it for resetting. Anyhow, overall it looks pretty good in here. Fairly simple, so you know, if we have any actual issues, you know, we should be able to troubleshoot them, hopefully. Here you can see this is actually where the oil skimmer timer would be if it had one. Instead it just got the sticker over it where it says oil skimmer timer. So that kind of sucks. Maybe something we'll want to add one day if we can, but definitely first gotta get her running. Ooh, look at that. I didn't see that until now. Got ourselves a little electrical wiring diagram or schematic. That's good. So tonight I'm going to go ahead and install this, which will go where the plug was. I just have the plug loosely in there right now, but I'm going to install this instead, which will allow me to A, have a valve to control draining it, and B, hook to a hose so that I can run the hose to an actual drain. And then B, this plug, so that I can plug it in. And then I'm going to test it out. So now that that's on, I can start to fill it with water. Then I can work on the electrical part while the water is going in. Okay, I'm gonna plug it in now and see what happens. Hopefully not. So I'm going to show you guys the problem I'm having, which seems to be this strainer here. Seems like it's not sealing up in here. There's a sort of O-ring that's supposed to seal up against this housing when you screw that in. And as you can see, it doesn't seem to be. See the light? Take the light away. Bring the light back. She split right down the edge of this ridge here. Right across here. Split open. So that's the problem. So now I gotta see if I can get just one of these. I was really hoping to just get this thing running, usable, and everything in this video, but it doesn't look like that's going to be able to happen because, you know, I need that replacement piece. So I hate to kind of leave this as a cliffhanger. Nothing really exciting happened, but at least we did get it cleaned up. We got it, you know, evaluated a little bit. We can tell that the motor runs, the pump runs, seems to pump water because it sprays it right out of that broken housing. We know we need that housing. I am going to look into getting another new strainer too, since this one seems a little bit kinked up. But other than that, we know the element is heating the water because it got nice and warm. So basically now all we need is that housing, and I think it's going to work. But we'll find out once we get that housing if it works or not. So if you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Share with a friend if they think they'd be interested in this kind of content. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully we will have housing for that, and we'll have this cabinet up and running.